Okay, hello to my first XCOM tactics by the Emerald Bolt. And today we're going to be doing movement. As you can see, I've just started up, let Central talk. Anyway, today we're going to be covering basics. Now, if you already know how the game works basically, and you did the tutorial and you're not a moron, well, you know, you can kind of ignore this video. This is for the newbies. So, we're going to cover some basic things. First of all, the Q and the E keys will turn your screen respectively, and you can zoom in and out, well, up and down levels when you're in buildings with the mouse key. The scrolly bit on your mouse, and you use the T and the G keys to zoom in on the action, as you can see. Right, now, for basics, each character gets 2 movement, or 2 action points. As you can see right here, these 2 little arrows right there, those bits. Now those are your action points. You can do various things with your action points, but the main things you're going to be doing is moving and shooting. And as you can see, we have a concealed icon. Now, for concealed movement, so your first go is never sprint. So, like sprinting over here, for instance. Don't ever sprint. So, we see this blue line. That is how far you can move in one action point. So, if you were to move to anywhere within this blue outline that you can see, this circle shape, well, it's not circle, but you know what I mean, like this round shape around my character, you still get another action. So you can move, you can shoot, you can perform an action, so on and so forth. If you were to move to this yellow circle, as you can see, this yellow circle is much, much bigger. But if you were to move to anywhere in this yellow area, you would lose your turn. So it would consume both your action points, and unless you have a psionic guy with you, that's your turn over. It is necessary to sprint for certain situations, but most of the time you can move just once. Now, we're also going to cover waypoints while we're here. Now, to start using waypoints you don't generally have to use, but on occasion you may need to. Waypoints, you hold down the left control key and it brings up this icon. You can get dismissed at any time by lifting up the key, as you can see. Anyway, so if you use the key, you can do this. And your character will now follow that instruction. So you can release the key and it still keeps the command, and then you hit the right mouse key, which takes you to your position. See? Perfect. And we've revealed some advent. We'll get to advent spotting, which we'll cover in movement in a moment. So what we're going to do is, so we don't get spotted. Now, you can get spotted if you get flanked in cover, or if you're standing in the open when one of these tiles goes over your character. To protect my character so that that doesn't happen, I'm going to move to here. See this spot here? So, in that position, yeah, we'll let that happen. In that position, we are now protected from this direction. So cover is directional, so our character here is protected from this side. You see the shield just above my arrow to the left? She's protected from that side. In fact, an enemy character has to get within lines of her, so a direct line from her character in order to spot her in cover position. This is any cover, so this is half cover and full cover. Now that we've moved our character full distance, we're not going to be doing an ambush yet, because we want as many rifles trained on the targets as possible. Oh, Weiss is in my pool. If you haven't figured out, I'm also a Ruby fan apart from anything else. There's Weiss. She was a psionics expert last game. She did very, very well. She got to Colonel rank in one of my last campaigns. So, we're going to move Weiss right up to here. Now that seems a bit bold, but it should be absolutely fine. Right. And we're going to move the rest of our fire team upwards. Now, that will also allow me to cover another basic thing. We'll just move her up there and wait for the enemy turn to pass, which shouldn't be too eventful, I don't think. Yeah, they didn't even move. Generally, the enemies move. It is quite a common thing for them to move. Now, to swap between characters, say say in this ambush scenario, because turns are unimportant, I put this person in Overwatch, this person in Overwatch. Now, it keeps going back to Weiss, as you can see. Now, I want Weiss to shoot. I want her to fire her weapon, not be stuck in Overwatch. So use the tab key to swap characters, as you can see. It cycles through characters, so it would go from Weiss to my other soldier, to my other soldier, to her, then back to Weiss. But since only 2 of them have their turns left, and then, see? And then I could fire here, but I'm not going to. I'll just put her in Overwatch. Because I want to move people up so I can get closer. So, we're moving up. Getting a little bit closer. However, the ambushes are not going to be covered in today's video. This is just movement. Now, we are going to learn a little bit about tile hazards though. I'm going to include it in this episode. Now, you can see that this icon comes up. You look at this, an eye icon that's got an exclamation mark in it. Now, if I was to move into this tile, I would be detected. If I'm detected, the enemy gets reaction and we lose our concealment. You never want to be detected by the enemy if you can help it. What I mean is, you want to be the one shooting before you get detected. Now, there are 4 types of tiles that produce a similar style thing. There's detection, like this, there's fire, there's poison, and there's acid. If you were to walk into the other 3 tiles, it would put those effects on your character, which means you would take damage over time unless you healed yourself, or you're immune. There are certain armors that allow you to be immune, and there are certain classes, and the Science class allows you to be immune. Now, with movement, we shall also cover positioning. Now, if we look up, because XCOM is glitchy as hell, there we go, look at that. We get a better view and a better shot from shooting upstairs. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move this character here. We're going to move, and then we're going to move this character up here. We're going to move this character up here. We're just going to stick in Overwatch until we get to our next turn. Because we're not in any rush, this is the first mission, so they're not going to force you to go any faster than you want to. So we will move up here. So what the benefits of positioning do is that these 2 lovely ladies up here, now if we were to go, right, so that's 90. So as you can see, that's 90%. If we expand that out, aim is 65, and then we have a 20 plus height advantage. So if we were to go to a character down here, and then go back to the same target, Weiss only has a 67% chance to hit. Now you'll notice that weapon range is also involved. Weapon range means how close you are to your target. So if we were to go to Gabriella and go here, she's at 69% because her weapon range is 4% instead of Weiss's 2. Because Weiss is just at her extreme combat distance. So if we were to move Laura up here, I mean, she'll get detected, but if she was to manage to get here, her, and then if we go to aim, as you can see, her weapon range is plus 5%. If she was like up here, it would like be plus 15%, plus the height advantage would give her a hell of a good chance of massacring her enemy pretty quickly. And that is for the basics of movement. Next video we will be attacking. We will be involving ambushes and military combat doctrine within the XCOM 2 franchise. And frankly, half of this can be applied to XCOM 1 as well if you're still back in the dinosaur ages. But don't get me wrong, XCOM 1's great. For now, you've been with the Angry Avatar, and I hope that this video gives you any insights into basic maneuvering and positioning, and just general help in XCOM 2. I'll see you for the next video. Ciao guys.